Get ready for the action because things are pretty perfect for the Cubs at Wrigley Field right now. The Chicago Cubs have taken control of the deeply competitive National League Central with a torrid stretch of play, now holding a record of 24 games to 12. We dive into the incredible performance, including the 13 consecutive games the home team has won, and see how this dominant run is shaping up for the rest of the season.
Here's a simple way to protect your phone without stress. This ALEN 3-pack comes with tempered glass screen protectors, camera lens protectors, and an installation frame for an easier, cleaner fit. It's clear, case-friendly, and built to help guard against scratches and everyday bumps. Check the link in the comments to get it on Amazon.
Next up, we look at the fascinating debate brewing in the clubhouse about offensive strategy. Ian Happ was a single short of the cycle with an intentional walk over the weekend, sparking a discussion about whether a modern baseball cycle should be redefined in light of recent game situations and on-base percentages. Now, let's talk about the sheer dominance of the Chicago Cubs. They are the hottest team in baseball, having won 7 straight games and securing back-to-back walk-off wins. We break down the unbelievable statistics showing how this 20-game stretch has set a new benchmark for team performance in the modern MLB era. Finally, we examine the looming trade deadline drama surrounding veteran Michael Conforto. As the Cubs look like a legitimate World Series threat, front offices are starting to seriously consider roster moves, and we explore why Conforto is becoming the most likely trade candidate as the team prepares for a serious postseason push. Stay with us. The Chicago Cubs are riding an incredible winning streak, taking control of the National League Central with a dominant run of play at Wrigley Field. The surging home team has secured 13 consecutive victories, highlighted by a walk-off win over the Reds on Tuesday night. This marks the longest winning streak at the historic ballpark since the 2008 Cubs achieved 14 straight contests there. Michael Busch became the 5th player to record a game-winning hit during this run, as Dansby Swanson raced home from second base to end extra innings after a key hit by Michael Busch. The Cubs now hold a 2.5-game lead over the Cardinals, sitting at a strong 24-12 record. This performance places them among the leaders in the NL, positioning them to potentially challenge for the best record in the league. While not expected to maintain perfection in every home game, the momentum suggests a significant advantage is developing for the Cubs as the summer progresses. The atmosphere at Wrigley Field is electric, with fans capturing moments of pure baseball excitement, including a memorable instance of a vendor reacting to a powerful hit by Seiya Suzuki, which was the 12th home run in a row at the venue. The team is characterized by nerve-rattling, close games, with every player contributing and new heroes emerging nightly. Manager Craig Counsell is reportedly excelling in managing the bullpen. The current environment in Chicago is one of high energy and confidence, suggesting a promising outlook for the team as the season moves forward. The Chicago Cubs are contemplating a potential rule adjustment regarding the definition of a cycle in baseball, sparked by the performance of Ian Happ. Following a recent exciting stretch for the Cubs at Wrigley Field, which included a walk-off victory against the Reds and a historic walk-off home run by Michael Conforto, attention has shifted to offensive metrics. The focus now is on whether the traditional definition of a cycle, a single, double, triple, and home run in a game, should be reconsidered in an era where on-base percentage is increasingly valued. The discussion centers on Ian Happ's performance on Saturday. Happ finished a single short of the cycle with an intentional walk, but proponents argue his plate appearances effectively constituted a cycle based on-base percentage. Happ recorded 4 plate appearances, reaching every base in turn, and his offensive output was significant, including a powerful home run hit 110.6 miles per hour and a triple in the 8th inning. The argument suggests that if a batter accumulates a double, triple, and home run across 3 plate appearances, and the opposing team intentionally places the batter on first during the 4th plate appearance, this scenario should be credited as a modern cycle. This proposal aims to recognize players like Happ who have achieved significant base-running success, even if they don't strictly adhere to the traditional single-double-triple home run sequence. While acknowledging that such changes may divide traditionalists, the suggestion is to recognize Happ's achievement as a special instance, perhaps dubbed the Happ Cycle, to acknowledge that he was effectively robbed of a traditional cycle. Baseball analysts have weighed in, suggesting this concept recognizes modern offensive achievements over rigid historical definitions. The Chicago Cubs are experiencing an unprecedented surge, positioning themselves as the hottest team in baseball. The squad has demonstrated relentless dominance, securing 7 consecutive wins and recently defeating the Cincinnati Reds on back-to-back nights, highlighted by key performances from Michael Conforto and Michael Busch. The team's momentum is undeniable, evidenced by a remarkable 17 wins in their last 20 games, a 10-game winning streak, and a 7-game winning streak. Currently leading the National League Central with a 24-12 record, the Cubs maintain a 2.5-game lead over the second-place St. Louis Cardinals. Their winning percentage of .667 ranks third in baseball, trailing only the Atlanta Braves and the New York Yankees. This performance marks one of the most historic starts in the team's history, with 24 wins in the first 36 games occurring only 3 times since 1920. This 20-game stretch is statistically exceptional, featuring an 85% win rate, including 10 come-from-behind victories, 6 one-run wins, 4 walk-off wins, 4 wins after trailing in the 8th inning or later, and 3 extra innings victories. According to OptaStats, no other MLB team in the modern era has achieved this level of performance over a 20-game span. On the field, the team is playing with the cohesion of a deep postseason contender, boasting 13 straight victories at Wrigley Field and improvements across hitting, pitching rotation, and bullpen. The offense has found its rhythm, with Nico Hoerner and Moises Ballesteros driving production recently. Furthermore, the rotation has seen a significant boost with the addition of Edward Cabrera, who currently holds a 3.27 ERA and has delivered quality starts in 3 of his last 4 outings. With this current trajectory, the Cubs are firmly establishing themselves as a legitimate contender for a World Series title. The Chicago Cubs are facing a pivotal decision regarding veteran outfielder Michael Conforto as the trade deadline approaches, driven by a shift in team mentality from chasing wins to securing a legitimate World Series contender status. Following 7 consecutive wins and a 17-3 record over the last 20 games, the team's confidence has surged, with players expressing an expectation to win nearly every night. This momentum is forcing front offices to pivot their strategy from simply staying competitive to actively protecting a season that now feels significantly larger. While the rotation has shown resilience, lingering concerns about injury timelines, such as Justin Steele's recovery and Cade Horton's absence, highlight the need for additional roster depth. This pressure is compelling the Cubs to evaluate roster moves, and Conforto has emerged as a prime candidate for trade discussions. Analysts point to Conforto's remaining value, noting that despite a recent disappointing season, he retains productivity as a left-handed bat against right-handed pitching. His recent performance, including a walk-off home run, underscores his capability in specific matchups, which simultaneously increases his trade appeal. The increased offensive depth, with multiple players delivering walk-off hits this season, has created competition for playing time. This flexibility gives the Cubs the strategic space to explore trades, potentially moving Conforto to secure controllable pitching depth for the postseason. Furthermore, his contract situation simplifies the financial aspect of any potential deal. As the Cubs transition from a team enjoying a hot streak to one preparing for a serious postseason push, the calculus changes entirely. Front offices are no longer passive. Aggressive roster decisions are imminent. Michael Conforto may become one of the first significant tests of the Cubs' willingness to be aggressive in their pursuit of a championship.